Hey there, fellow hackers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, the Pilgrim ship. Episode 5, Hacking a Mechanoid Relay for Supplies. Tired travelers. You mean targets. Human-sized targets. Actually, if we already have one prisoner, there's a possibility of getting some more. So, Liara, would you be so kind as to arrest your daughter? And now, convert. So, we'll periodically visit Atla and convert to the right ideology. Do we want you guys to show up and us to take you under... You know, actually, really don't. I don't want to have to deal with anyone else at the moment. So, let's allow Aram to at least finish this harp. And then... But he has enough for enough skill for a shield belt, like right in a second here. There we go. So finish the harp, but I also want my shield belts. And we're ready to launch again. I want the shield belts before we launch, because I don't want to go to a mech relay without, you know, some of that protection. Why are you hungry? Just wake up and eat. Maybe Atla becomes our Chamberlain. But probably not. The psychopath Chamberlain? Yeah, maybe that's a bad idea. Any nice harps to replace the old one? No. Poor, normal, and poor. We have a normal one already. I already did one replacement, so unless the next one's good, the answer is no. Alright, additionally, slaves. You are going to be allowed shield belts. I'm not going to bother cutting down any more trees. Actually, Ink, cut down a few more trees before we go. And haul that wood in, and then we'll be good to go. But we already have like 500 heal root. Oh, and standard grav tech. Nice. So next research, back to multi-analyzer. I know I didn't, actually we hauled in most of the steel. There's only maybe about 100 of it out there, 120 of it out there. And Aram, you're gonna go for the really nice shield belt. And then Ink has the poor one. So, we are good to take off as soon as we get the wood loaded up. I'm gonna wait for conversation to conclude. There we go. And launch. We're headed to the Mechanoid Relay. Not a safe place to be, so I'm going to be red lights until we make it safe. And you're right, elephant tusks are considered a weapon. Same with Rumbo. Same with even beer bottles. And pieces of wood technically can be weapons, although I don't think they're considered weapons. So I'll have to adjust the stockpile for that. Alright, we've got gold, obviously. Not that I need some. This is quite the archipelago. We have got a relay stabilizer with a lancer. A pikeman relay stabilizer. So let me mark these down in red so I know where they are, because I'm going to want to be roughly equidistant to all of them. And then a scyther. The scyther is a little bit more dangerous. We do have some deep water to potentially take advantage of. So let's see. Can the deep water be helpful here? Because I could hypothetically, like, park in such a way where we have a section of our ship unreachable. Like, if I parked here, like that. Oh, it doesn't quite fit. That's okay. I think actually that. I can stand here and shoot, and they can't reach me, but I don't think I really need to worry about that. I think my plan here is to have my turrets face off against. So the way these relays work is there's two approaches to make before we land. You can hack, which is sort of the safe approach, or you can blow them up, which is going to trigger a violent response approach. I could try to also land it directly on them, but I was not planning on doing that. So, again, the way these work is in order to get your grav core from the Mechanoid relay, you hack or destroy the relay stabilizers to obtain the grav core. And if you... I do not trust standing next to a scyther for any reason. So let's kill the scyther before trying to hack this thing. Scyther down. And then, Ink, you come with me to the pikeman as a human shield. And what I want to do is I want to make all three sites safe so that Liara can hack freely without fear of getting injured or whatever. Also, Atla, or Aram, you go feed Atla. Oh, you can't warden. What am I thinking about? Never mind. We'll feed daughter soon. Don't lose your arm. Okay. I don't know why I took the wimp like it was a good idea, but it's fine. Should have taken our arm. Live and learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack these two. And the way the hacks work is the hacks will, they will fail. You'll be caught and locked out briefly. So it's useful to have at least some multiple sites so that when you're caught, you can move on to the other one. So we have 2/3 of them cleared, and I'll work on making the last site safe. There's a pikeman at the northern one, not a scyther. So I parked here on the scyther, knowing that the scyther was the most dangerous to us. Man, I need a pain stopper for Ink. Counter her puniness. In the morning, I'll go to the last one because I don't want to fight in the dark. Mechs move at full speed in the dark, and humans don't. Yeah, it's Peacock. Oh, there's a Colossus Toad, too. So the current priority right now is hack the relays. Nice. Did we feed Atla? Definitely not. Liara, please do that. I think also, in order to convert her sooner, and because we just have tons and tons of really nice food, I will also give her lavish. Alright, let's make the last site safe. And Ink's on her feet. Cool. Done. I can assemble the mech's corpses. So let's dump the mech corpse here for disassembly, because I do have a machining table now. You don't think she actually fed her? I think she did get fed. Droner, that sucks. Aram, is there anything for you? I'll actually get the gold. And then we'll see about compacted machinery, which there is lots of. Well, not lots, but definitely some. And then eventually compacted steel, but we have 1,000 of it, so it's pretty low on the rung. The machinery is going to be really nice for us to have the components so that we can make fabrication bench and the armor out of the, you know, for the stuff that we need. Ambrosia, I don't think I'm going to be here long enough for that to actually become harvestable. So I'm not going to bother zoning it. Additionally, meat. Plus, it's like shooting practice for break fire, so that's not bad either. Whoa, you are doing a really good job hacking. Holy moly. Well, Breakfire, be really careful where you're shooting. I'm gonna force him not to shoot over Liara's head, because we've already had a friendly fire event. Somehow or another, she, like, I think she's managing to hack this entire thing without a fail. And Breakfire shot the relay, too. Wow, okay, we got it. The lavish meals, I don't want to include pack meals. I should not have had that on anyway. And she is grinding her recreation so that the droner doesn't hit her hard. We did get probably the most annoying relay to get to, because we had to swim to get there. This relay and that relay we can walk to, which is nicer. Blind fog. A thick fog is settling in, dramatically reducing vision. Ranged weapons will be less accurate, and their max range reduced. Is that a map? I think that was random? Yeah, that's not a terrain feature. Well, it's soup outside now. Old Hen, thank you for the resub. Cheers. And Agent Venom, too. And Team Web for the cheer. So, if you want to know the accuracy range, once we're up... Oh, boy. An alligator right there. It's a little sketchy. I think... There we go. 28 reduced to 23 by weather. I don't think it affects the turrets, though. No. So it's a pawn range thing. Does natural and anomaly fog have different texts? Anomaly, I don't have anomaly enabled, but yeah, anomaly has a different text. Like, gray pall is very different than blind fog. Goats! Bye, goats. Alright, the droner ended. Nice. Little worried about alligators being... You know what? I don't trust you. But you're right next to the relay. I know I've reduced accuracy. Didn't matter. I didn't want Liara hacking, like, adjacent to a, an alligator that's just, like, lurking. It feels wrong, because alligators are pretty dangerous. So here is an alligator, and they can chomp for pretty bad. Take a limb off if you're not careful. Now that I have the standard grav tech, information about getting Vaxstone. You now have the technology to build large thrusters. These require Vaxstone blocks, which can be obtained from orbital asteroids. You can travel to orbital locations using transport pods, shuttles, or a grav ship. Make sure to equip your colonists with Vax suits or other advanced armors to survive in space. And then the intel about the mech relay. The relay is currently protected by stabilizers, so we have to hack or disable the stabilizers. Hacking is slower, but a safer option. It also is a burning passion of Liara, so like that's a pretty good way to keep her happy. And there we go. So we were locked out for 12 hours from this hack. We were almost done with it, but yeah, if you you get detected and it locks you out, and it doesn't trigger like hostilities. It's just a lock. You're curious how the map hopping will interact with Anomaly. Will they follow you around? No, when you leave a map tile, it's done. So if you have like Shamblers wander in and you just take off, you don't have to deal with Shamblers. Odyssey is, as long as your engines are spooled up and cooled down, Odyssey allows you just to ditch raids. Now, with that said, there's nothing stopping you from having like an overheated engine for multiple days. Like right now I'm on cooldown, right? And being attacked in that time, you're still vulnerable. But it's a really nice thing to be able to just like take off from dangerous situations for sure. All right, arms are Smith and locked out. So we got about halfway on this one and almost done on this one. A visitor from UDC, Taika Riley. Or Taiki. Too smart chemical interest. What happens when you take off with an intact Revenant that's paralyzed someone? Good question, I don't know. I assume they stay paralyzed, because you haven't actually neutralized the threat. And then if you don't know where the Revenant is, it could be on your ship. And then, you know, I think you've just created the scenario for Dead Space. Revenant's on the moon? Moon's haunted. Alright, we have a bunch of tattered clothing that we can part with. You want a harp? Yeah, here's a harp. I'll buy med. Why do you have 4 reinforced barrels? How do you even carry that? Isn't each barrel 10 kilo? You have 40 kilograms of barrels up your butt? Dude, my friend, how? How is that possible? Carry weight, 61 out of 35 kilograms. Well, someone doesn't follow the rules. Riley has the right to bear arms, apparently. He's run around with 4 guns. He's like a Machop. Or Machoke. Who's the one with the multiple arms? I haven't played Pokemon in... Maybe none of them? I don't know. I haven't played Pokemon since 19-something. Maybe not 19-something, but you know what I mean. But champ. Okay. Fair enough. So we're 2/3 done with the stabilizers. We have 1 day left on the console. Things are going smoothish. I acknowledged that the Tusk and the Horn were weapons and then never actually moved them. There we go. So now if we take a look, we do not have proximity to weapons. Good. Well, these guys aren't doing anything. Is there anything... Honestly, there's really nothing I want them to even do. They can just like hang out and do nothing. It matters very little to me. Are there ore on the map tile? No. There's no ore. There's a little bit more compacted machinery, I guess, down here, which I'll have them mine. But then everything else is compacted steel, but I have enough steel that it really is not much of a concern. The other thing we could do is actually start stone cutting. Is there... Yeah, there's marble. All right, let's get marble. Because we can marbleize the ship. I was actually thinking of putting slate as the standard tile and marble only in the royal rooms. But the other stone chunks here are sandstone, so I'll do marble. And this is ready to be hacked again by Liara. Get her out there and get done. Outlaw's certainty is not moving very quick. Psychopath kind of makes it harder, huh? But, you know, I like how she's a tribe child. It's like, nah, but Liara was a shipbound lady. This does make sense. It's like Liara got a tribal pregnant and then, like, wandered off, even though that's not how it works. An imperial trader. Well, I'm a knight, so that works. Cool. Can I make my ship bigger? Yes, but I don't have the materials, but we're about to get some more. So you make your ship bigger with gravlight panels, and I literally have 2 of them. So I could add 2 cells to my ship right now, which is really not worth doing, I would say. But the grav core here, the quest I'm on right now, this mech relay, gives gravlight panels. So I will get rewarded once I finish hacking the Mechanoid relay, some gravlight panels. So that is the reward for... so I'll be able to grow the ship soon. And now the Mechanoid relay is destabilized, and we'll be able to claim it in a sec. Liara. Let's trade with them. It came with a Megavol. Ah, this is one of those interesting new critters. So the Megavol has the ability to dig. It's only intermediate trainability, but it has the ability to actually do mining, which is pretty cool. More Glitterworld meds. I'm going to sell the jelly because it's worth a lot and it has a high food poison risk, and I don't really want to get food poisoning. I wouldn't mind buying more books for the research speed. But maybe just like mad feel. I don't know. Let's see, what else? Sell the harps. I'm gonna sell the pack mules because I don't suspect that I'm gonna like lose my ability to refrigerate. I could sell the wood and cut down trees. That's true. All the raw smoke leaf would be, yeah. I mean, rolling the joints would make me more money, but... and if I end up selling all the wood, I'll buy another book just to speed up research speed. Yeah. And I don't want them to actually leave right now, because, like, if hostiles show up, it's nice to have some backup. I know Liara has aid to call on an arrow drone and trooper squad, but free backup is better than paid backup. So there's the relay crash. And now I can attack this attack this relay to obtain resources. There we go. We got a grav core, and we got 165 gravlight panels. And that's how this... And then here's the defense response, which is why I hadn't dismissed the people yet. So where are they? The one's landing here. Is Aram? Oh god, Aram's not close. And the other one is landing... Well, northwest. So this is the close one. Scyther? Scyther. Well, you got to cross the water, bud. The other one is also a Scyther. Arm and ink. Don't worry about it. Arm, go back to your mining. Breakfire and Lyra can handle this, no problem. And that's how the hacks work. So the next jump will be... So here's the thing. I'm going to have you guys decide. We can head towards Bucky. Bucky was a quest to get a shield generator, which is kind of like a low shield pack, where it like creates a dome, or like a low shield, a mech low shield, but it needs to recharge, so it has like cooldown. Or we could go to another node site. Where to go next? Shield Gen Quest or Grav Core? Did I not buy the glitter? I did not buy the glitter. They're kind of overpriced. Plus, daughter being paralyzed is honestly ideal, because she can't revolt. She can't escape as a prisoner. Being paralyzed, so it allows me to convert her at no risk. It's kind of ideal, if you ask me. I'd rather have her not have legs. There's a bunch of things you can do with your grav cores, not just extenders. So in the advanced grav tech, there's also power cells and like signal jammers and the passive scanners. So already, as it is, I have the ability to make the orbital scanners out of advanced components of steel, the extenders. The other thing I wanted to do is to replace, put in some vac barriers. Before I take off, I'll be doing that. So the vac barriers, and I mentioned this in the last Odyssey stream that I had, but the vac barriers are like, they act as doors. Well, they act as barriers, but not doors. So they keep gas and temperature separated, but they'll allow enemies through. So they're really good for kitchens, and they're really good for the externals of the ship when you're going into space. Pilgrim ship is ready to launch again, and it looks like we're going to do the Shield Gen quest. So we're going to head towards Bucky. And obviously I'm going to want to scoop up all my loot before I leave. So now if you see, this vac barrier is keeping my freezer frozen and my ship warm, but it's not a door. We pass through it like instantly, which is amazing. Oh my god, stop, break fire, stop stepping on the vac barrier as I build it. And it's obviously airtight. It's basically a airtight barrier that helps to keep your ship, the oxygen and pressure on the correct side of the ship. Is everyone home? Yeah, everyone's home. So, let's haul in. Well, actually, there was a little bit of smithing to do. I'm going to get those two scythers because they're just sitting there. And then we'll leave. How much does the door need? It varies depending on whether it's working or not. So I believe it's 50 watts when it's working and 5 when it's not. And technically speaking, this is not working because this is in vacuum. So it's a 5-watt door. Which allows us to perfectly freeze our freezer. I love it. Alright, we're good to go. Launch. And we're heading west. So what I'm going to try to do is, I think, in order to get to Bucky, which is here, we're pretty much just going to have to go to Lion Atoll. So, let's see if there's any interesting spots here before we pick one. Because any of them will do. I'd like to be on the coast. And Temper Forest sounds better to me than Arid Shrubland. There's increased animal life. Increased plant life, wet climate. Wet climate's gross. Wild smoke leaf. Increased plant life. Wild cotton. Wild cotton could be cool. Elephant habitat. Let's do a mixed. No, I'd rather... Let's do wild cotton. Sounds cool. And then the next hop will hypothetically be in space. Oh yeah, there is the icon in the bottom right that shows you the pins for points of interest. This thing. So if you turn this on, you can see. Well, it actually does. It doesn't show you. It shows you features, not. It only shows you partial features. So I would still have to click around. But good call. I should have mentioned that. It shows you more like terrain features. Okay, we've got steel here, lots of steel, and that will be good if we want vac suits. So let's land near the steel and the components. Because I think if we're going to space, I'm not likely to get like recon armor up just yet, so it's going to be a vac suit setup. So the current priority is make vac suits for killing Bucky. Thruster breakdown. No problem. So, vac suits. We are going to be making 4 vac suits. Let's do 3, because I don't need all slaves to have a vac suit. And 3 vac helmets. These cost plasteel, steel, and components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 set at a time. The problem is so the vac suits themselves, your move speed in them sucks. So they're really not good to wear. It's so much better to get recon armor, which is also airtight. So working towards recon armor is the goal, getting fabrication, advanced fabrication, and eventually like recon armor. But as a stopgap, vac suits will have to fill the gaps. The other thing is we're going to be probably a little low on chem fuel once we refuel up all these tanks. So we're going to have to remake chem fuel too. And then the quality of the vac suits we're going to make are going to be atrocious because of the lack of the skill that we have. But that's, you know, just so be it. Getting the rest of the ship ready for flight also means adding more heaters in, probably. Ooh, RM just got to inspire creativity. Well, that's good for a vac suit. The other thing that we could do, actually, which might be better because vac suits are kind of like a one-off, is to make a royal bed. So I think I'm going to do a steel royal bed with his inspiration instead of a vac suit. Because we're going to graduate away from vac suits as fast as possible because they do suck. Whereas royal beds, hypothetically, we can use forever. The alternative would have been a throne. I could see going for both, but I think a bed's nicer to have, at least for right now. But in order to make our ship ready for space, we're also going to want oxygen pumps, and we're going to want more heaters because space is cold. Really? I was going to hunt you, but I guess you make it easy. Masterwork. Pretty good. That will definitely be a nice bed to sleep on. And now the quality of the bed is very impressive as a result. Does vac suit quality affect vacuum resistance? No, not at all. Very poor, tattered at 1%, tainted, doesn't matter. It's similar to the toxic resistance of armor, right? Like so a mask's toxic resistance isn't affected by its quality at all. So a very poor mask or a legendary mask makes no difference. It's the same resist percent. What's the artwork? Depressed vision. This furniture bears a depiction of 6 mazes. A large group of old surfing bots appear to the right of the main scene. The work has a romantic feeling and a focused structure. Weird. What else is here? I didn't really look around. So we got more machinery. I did not see any ancient dangers from glance, and I don't believe there are any. We need more wood? Yes. We'll have ink do that. I mean, we can also make it with organics too, because we have tons of organics. So this one is all meat, because our stockpiles are basically full of meat. So we need to start processing that. Oh! Hello, kind, jealous, gourmand, and jogger fast learner. That'd be nice. I'm not about to betray random tribes. We'll subjugate them later, like when we have greater capacity for violence. So the chem gens themselves output a bit of heat, and then we do have 2 heaters. I might not need more heaters, now that I think about it. What I want to do is I want to create safe zones from accidental depressurization. So I'm going to put aux pumps in all 4 wings. So if we close the doors and close the vents, the 4 wings all will be vacuum safe when they have their own oxygen pumps. And then these 2, the throne room and the bedroom, also have a source of heat. So worst case scenario, if there's a big breach in the ship, there are 4 safe zones, and 2 of them are heated safe zones. So it should not be that... that lowers our risk incredibly. The other thing we could do is we can use some of the uranium that we have and expand turrets. There's no reason to just like leave it at 2 turrets. So I think that's another thing I plan to do once the vac suits are done, is to get more plasteel turrets around the ship so that we have some pretty beefy defenses. Are the vac suits stored in the safe room? They wouldn't really need to be. So the thing about the suits is they're very, very, very slow to put on. Also, let's get outfit stands for them. So these outfit stands are going to be linked. And for now, only vac. Outlaw's certainty is down to 51%. We could do something about your uncovered groin. Wait, what? Oh, wait, your ideology wants you to be naked? What? No, uncovered. You're covered. What are you talking about? Oh, you probably want to be covered more than that. What is your clothing demands? You might need like a burqa or something. Oh, you need a hat. Okay, I'll get you a hat. Oh my god, fine. Let's give you... Are you in pain? No, you're not in pain. So I don't need to give you like a... So I'll give you just a lady's hat. Or a... I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about this. What kind of hat do I want to give you? I'll make you a flop hat, because you're silly. Now, that costs cloth. I don't want to use cloth. I know we have natural cotton growing here, but I'd rather make it out of tail cap, let's say. Let's give you a pigskin tail cap. Why keep her happy at all? The happier she is, the faster she converts. So, I'm making her happy so that she can actually join us and be productive. There we go. It's still a sucky bedroom. And she wants people executed. She doesn't want to be in the dark, so I'm going to install the light in here for you. And here's the outfit stands. The big reason to keep her happy is if she has a mental break from unhappiness, when her certainty about her own ideology is less than 50%, she could convert to a random ideology of greater 50%, removing any progress we made towards converting her. So I'm trying to keep her happy to prevent her from us losing our progress. Wow, there's so much to hunt here. I mean, and then as far as the frequency of wild cotton, let's see how many. Yeah, there's definitely clusters of wild cotton for sure. Pretty cool. I like that modifier. Very neat. Breakfire is Atla's ex-lover. Apparently. Now I know why he's a guardsman. And we detected another grav core. A crash site on this island. So maybe we jump to Bucky and then jump back or something. And there's our vac suit. So here's what a vac suit looks like. The helmets have more vacuum resistance than the armor, but it's 32 resistance for the armor, but it's a terrible move speed modifier. Gives you a huge amount of cold resistance and some armor, but it's not one of those kind of like everyday wear type things because the move speed modifier is just so terrible. And what we want is at least 3. Because I want to give one to Aram with his shield belt so he can like soak up bullets, and then 1 for Breakfire, 1 for Liara. For our safety, I think I'm going to replace the thrusters, the broken thrusters, so if we do in 2 days have to make an emergency launch, even if we're not done, we can get out with a lower chance for negative consequence risk. Oh, hold up. Anything is not going to be vac. Put your cape back on. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey Pilgrim Ship, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pilgrims.